Hello everybody. Today I am going to discuss about one of the secondary metabolites, that is glycosides, about its definition, linkage, isolation and classification in my first part of this glycosides discussion, coming under pharmacology and phytochemistry 2 in unit 2 B Pharm 5th semester according to Pharmacy Council of India syllabus. So let us discuss about the definition of glycosides. These are nothing but the organic compounds from plant or animal source which are on enzymatic or acid hydrolysis give one or more sugar moieties along with non-sugar moiety. So definition says these are nothing but the organic compounds obtained from plant or animal source by the process of hydrolysis like enzymatic hydrolysis or acid hydrolysis. It gives one or more sugar moieties along with non-sugar moiety. The sugar portion is called as glycol and non-sugar portion is called as aglycol or genin. So let us discuss about the glycosidic linkage. Glycosidic linkage means this according to the definition. This is nothing but a combination of sugar and non-sugar moiety. That is why glycol or aglycol moiety. That is why in between glycol and aglycol there is a linkage. There is a link or bridge, you can say. In that bridge we will discuss what is the linkage or bridge. The linkage between sugar portion and non-sugar portion is called as glycosidic linkage. This linkage because of the presence of this linkage in glycosides in order to make the glycoside, that is why it is called glycosidic linkage. This is formed by condensation of OH group of sugar and OH group of aglycol or genin portion. This is sugar portion and another one is non-sugar portion. This linkage may occur through oxygen, carbon, sulfur or nitrogen. These are the four atoms by which the linkage is possible, or the linkage is made up of either oxygen or carbon or sulfur or nitrogen. These four atoms are responsible for the linkage, or we can say these are nothing but the linking atoms. Depending on the linking atom, the glycosides may be called as O glycosides, C glycosides, S glycosides and N glycosides. So now we will discuss about the sugar portion. In the next step we will discuss about the non-sugar portion. So first sugar portion of glycosides. The sugar which is present in glycosides may be monosaccharide. You see, may be monosaccharide, for example glucose, or deoxy sugars, for example saccharose. Sometimes they may be disaccharides or polysaccharides. Monosaccharide, usually monosaccharide. If monosaccharide is there, then it is called glucose, or as for example glucose is there, or deoxy sugar as for example saccharose. Sometimes they may be disaccharides or polysaccharides. If the sugar present in is glucose, the substance is called as glucoside. Here you have seen the monosaccharide, that is for example glucose. The sugar portion, if it is glucose, then the substance is called glucoside. If the sugar is rhamnose, the glycoside is called as rhamnoside. So on the whole, we will see that glycoside is a general term which is applied to all glycosides irrespective of the nature of the sugar present. Whatever the sugar portion is there, or whatever the nature of the sugar present there, that is named accordingly. So second one is non-sugar portion of glycosides. Non-sugar portion, that is we have discussed that it is nothing but the aglycol or genin portion. The aglycol portion of glycosides may be steroids, flavones, isothiocyanates, anthracene derivatives, etc. Glycosides are usually named after the aglycone present. So, what type of glycoside it is? How it is named? It is named according to the non-sugar portion or aglycone part of the glycoside. Next is isolation. Isolation of glycosides. This is one of the methods, Stas-Otto method. The drug containing glycoside is finely powdered, and the powder is extracted by continuous hot percolation using Soxhlet apparatus with alcohol as a solvent. So for this, for the extraction process, we need continuous hot percolation method using Soxhlet apparatus. And first of all, the drug containing glycoside is finely powdered, and the powder is extracted by continuous hot percolation method using Soxhlet apparatus with alcohol as a solvent. By this process, various enzymes which are present in plant parts are deactivated due to heating, because you have seen that continuous hot percolation, so heating is continuous. So in that case, the enzymes which are present in the plant parts that we have taken, it is deactivated due to heating. The thermolabile glycosides should be extracted at temperature below 45 degrees Celsius. Usually what we do in the continuous hot percolation method, we usually make the uh, continuous hot extraction process or percolation process. The temperature is fixed. We first of all we have to increase the temperature so that the solvent which is taken as a solvent, alcohol or any other organic solvent which is taken as a solvent, that is first boiled, then the temperature is maintained by the thermostat which is present in heating mantle. So generally what happened, the thermolabile glycoside, because you know that the enzymes which is present in plant parts, that is deactivated due to heating. So this thermolabile glycosides should be extracted at a temperature below 45 degrees Celsius. Now the extract is treated with lead acetate to precipitate tannins, because you know that whenever our motto is to isolate the glycosidal part, that is why we have to eliminate or we have to discard, or you have to we don't want to that tannin should interfere with the extraction process. So the extract is treated with lead acetate to precipitate tannins and thus eliminate non-glycosidal impurities. So whatever impurities like tannins or any other um, uh, secondary metabolites present as impurities, they should be eliminated. The excess of lead acetate is precipitated as lead sulfide by passing hydrogen sulfide gas through the solution. The extract is filtered, concentrated to get crude glycosides, because now these crude glycosides, that is free from other impurities including tannins. From the crude extract, the glycosides are obtained in pure form by using process like fractional solubility, fractional crystallization, and chromatographic techniques like TLC and column chromatography. These are another advanced isolation process. So from the crude extract, in order to get more purified crude extract, the glycosides which are obtained uh, to be obtained in pure form by using these processes. These are nothing but another or advanced technology for the isolation process. The characterization of isolated purified compounds is done by IR, UV visible, NMR, and mass spectrometry and elemental analysis. Next, we will discuss about the classification. The classification of glycosides is based on either on the chemical nature of a glycan part or their therapeutic activity exhibited by them, and classified again into different groups like cathartics, cardiotonics, analgesics, anti-rheumatics, anti-ulcer, etc. Number 2, another classification which is based on the type of linkage existing between the glycan and aglycan part. So in the first process of the classification of glycosides is based on either on chemical nature of a glycan part, because we have seen that the glycoside is named according to the name which is present as a glycan part. So accordingly, the glycoside is named as such, and their therapeutic activity. These are the therapeutic activity in which disease it is being used. So that is therapeutic activity. Next, we will see according to number 1, that is according to their chemical nature of a glycan moiety, they are grouped into number 1 is anthracene or anthraquinone glycosides. So these are the classifications according to their chemical nature and therapeutic value. Therapeutic value we have not discussed here, but we have discussed about their chemical nature, in which group they are coming. So anthracene or anthraquinone glycosides, these glycosides coming under the anthraquinone or anthracene group of glycosides. These are the 4 drugs, as for example Senna, rhubarb, aloe and cascara. These are coming under anthraquinone or anthracene glycosides. Number 2 is sterol or cardiac glycosides. As for example digitalis, squil, ovaben. These 3 drugs are coming, and they are according to their chemical nature, they are coming under sterol or cardiac glycosides. Number 3 is saponin glycosides. Saponin glycosides, as for example Dioscorea, licorice, ginseng and momordica. Number 4, cyanogenetic or cyanogenetic glycosides. Cyanogenetic or cyanogenetic glycosides, as for example bitter almond. Number 5, isothiocyanate glycoside, for example black mustard. Flavonol glycoside, these are all citrus fruits coming under flavonol glycosides. Coumarin or furanocoumarin glycosides, for example Soralia and cantharides. Next is aldehyde glycosides, because these glycosides contain aldehyde in their structure. For example vanilla. Next is phenol glycosides, as example bearberry, and next is steroidal glycoalkaloid, it is solanum. Glycosidal bitters, as for example gentian, picrorhiza and calmeg. Miscellaneous glycosides, saffron and gymnema. These are the classification according to their chemical nature of a glycan part. Next, second classification is classification based on the type of linkage, that is glycosidal linkage. We have discussed in the first after definition the what type of linkage is there between glycan and aglycan portion. So the classification based on the type of linkage existing between the glycan and aglycan part. Basically all type of glycosidal linkage occurs by the interaction of OH group of glycan and hydrogen coming through any of the radicals like CH group, OH group, SH group and NH group present on aglycan part. You see, the aglycan part contains CH group, OH group, SH group, NH group. So this hydrogen is coming from aglycan part, and OH group which is present in glycan part, they are combined. The linkage may occur through carbon, oxygen, sulfur and nitrogen depending on the linking atom these are the linking atoms: carbon, oxygen, sulfur and nitrogen. These are the linking atoms. Depending on the linking atom, the glycosides may be called as C glycoside, O glycosides, S glycosides and N glycosides. Now we will see the different examples how it is formed, the OH groups of A glycon part and hydrogen coming through the radicals like this from A glycon part. We will see. Now we will discuss about the C glycosides. In the C glycoside, glycon, you see that glycon OH, because glycon group contains OH, and A glycon part contains this CH. So from CH, this OH and this H makes water. So in the formation of glycon C A glycon, means this is the linking atom, carbon atom. So this is the glycoside, glycon and A glycon, that is being linked with carbon atom. This is the linking atom forming water. This is the formation of water, as for example aloe and cascara. Second one is O glycosides. Here also you see glycon portion contains OH, and this one A glycon, here some mistake is there. This is this will be A glycon OH. Oh no, okay, it is all right. A glycon portion contains OH, so forming glycon O A glycon plus water, as for example senna and rhubarb. In the third S glycoside, glycon contains OH group plus A glycon contains SH. So from SH, here H and OH forming water. Now the it is named as glycon S glycon. This is the linking sulfur atom between glycon and A glycon part. For example, cinegrin from black mustard. Fourth one is N glycoside. In the N glycosides, glycon contains OH group and A glycon contains NH. So from NH, this hydrogen is combined with OH group of glycon, forming glycon and A glycon plus water, as for example nucleosides. So this is all about the glycosides. In the glycosides, we have discussed things like definition, linkage and isolation and classification. In my next video, I will discuss about the different properties of glycosides and other things. Till then, thank you all for watching the video patiently. Thanking you all.